Hey guys, and welcome back to Z3 Cubing. Today I'm going to be checking out the long-anticipated X-Man Bell Pyraminx V2. So right here in my hands, I am holding a puzzle that I and many others have been anxiously waiting for literally years now. The second version of the X-Man Bell Pyraminx. So if you guys don't know, pretty much every Pyraminx solver nowadays either uses the original X-Man Bell Pyraminx or the Moyu Magnetic Pyraminx. Both of these cubes came out in 2016. Yes, you heard me right, almost all the best Pyraminx solvers are still using a puzzle that is now 4 years old. That would be like if the best 3x3 solvers in the world were still using something like the original Volk 3 from 2016. When these puzzles came out, it was an absolute headline feature that they used magnets instead of ball bearings to snap into place. So needless to say, Pyraminx hardware has not been innovated for a very long time, so this puzzle is what we've all been waiting for years. Anyway, let's go ahead and open it up. It says X-Man Design right here. Let's pull on the packaging. There we go, that's a cool little box. Let's get everything out here. By the way, this was sent over by the Cubicle in advance. It is coming out very soon. But make sure and check out the link to this puzzle on thecubicle.com. That'll be down in the description. And there you can either buy it or pre-order it, depending on whether it's out yet. It's just $17, which is a great price. And while you're there, use discount code Z3Cubing to get 5% off this puzzle or any others. Alright, so let's see what we have here. We have a little instruction booklet right here. It shows you how to solve a Pyraminx, a few little cards, some extra magnets, and this little screwdriver. I'll show you what this is for later. But anyway, let's get onto the puzzle. I'm going to be doing most of my comparisons to the original X-Man Bell Pyraminx because of course it's what this puzzle is based off of. Plus a lot of people still use it as their main. So in terms of sticker shades, they are exactly the same. This puzzle comes in both stickerless and black plastic. Although unfortunately, it does have a non-removable printed on logo. Now despite the fact that these Pyraminxes seem to be exactly the same size, this one does feel a little bit more compact in your hands. I think part of it might be that this one feels a little bit more rounded, whereas this one's a little bit sharper, which I do like. But the bigger factor is probably these little grooves in between the pieces. Now Pyraminx of course is a famously difficult puzzle to hold while solving. Your fingers just kind of slide off of it. And I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work yet, but I am hopeful that it'll be able to improve your grip while solving. Just right off the bat, it does definitely feel a little bit more comfortable and a little bit easier to hold than this one. Now I'm not exactly sure what their weights are, but the V2 does feel a tiny bit lighter, which could also contribute to it feeling a little bit more comfortable and more compact. Anyway, on to some first turns on this puzzle. Let's go ahead and just do some sledgehammers. And yeah, it feels exactly what I feel like an X-Man Bell V2 should feel like. Yeah, right off the bat, it definitely just feels like a more refined, I guess, more advanced version of the original X-Man Bell. Like the original one, it was very fluid, relatively fast, and just incredibly smooth. But there's really no texture to the turning. It just kind of feels boring. It's so smooth. Whereas this one, you have a little bit more texture, a little bit more control. It feels like you kind of have these friction lines in the pieces, which help with that. If anything, it just feels like you have more control while you're turning. Like even just doing sledgehammers here, I am so terribly out of practice on Pyraminx that this is kind of hard for me, but it just feels a lot easier than it would on any other Pyraminx for me. Part of that probably comes down to the new grip on the pieces, but there definitely is an aspect to the turning that just feels more controlled. And don't get me wrong, it is still very smooth and probably faster and more fluid than before. In fact, the speed and I guess flexibility of this puzzle kind of remind me of the other big Pyraminx that came out around the same time as the Bell V1, which is the Moyu Magnetic Pyraminx. This one was always a little bit lighter, a little bit faster and more flexible than the Bell V1, but I always found it kind of difficult to control just because it was so fast and it was a little bit unstable, whereas this one kind of has those fast and light qualities, but it definitely is a lot more controllable. And again, when it seems like I'm getting weird lockups while trying to turn it, it is 100% me and not the puzzle. I promise you it happens 10 times worse on the old one because I am just so out of practice. This puzzle definitely does not feel locky as long as you're actually decent at Pyraminx turning. I am not right now. Now onto the headline feature of the X-Man Bell V2, and that is the adjustable magnet strength. Now this is a feature that we've seen in a lot of 3x3s recently, where basically you're able to change how strong of a click you get each time you turn the puzzle. Now this is actually a great feature for Pyraminx, probably even more helpful than on 3x3 because there's such a wide range of preferences for Pyraminx magnet strength. From the really light magnets of the Moyu Magnetic Pyraminx to the super strong magnets of the original Bell. Now I imagine that the ideal magnet strength will be somewhere right in the middle of these two, which is great because the Bell V2 is already on the moderate magnet strength setting, and it does feel like it has a nice moderate click, which you can adjust up or down to your liking. Now just a side note, the funny thing is this actually isn't the first Pyraminx with adjustable magnet strength. That title would actually go to the original X-Man Bell, although as you would imagine the magnet strength adjustment was a lot more primitive. So basically if you open up an edge piece here, you have these little plastic inserts that go along with the magnets. And if you take it out, you can see that the magnet could be inserted so that either it's closer to the inside of the puzzle like this, or so that it's further away from the inside of the puzzle with a weaker strength. Now even on the weaker strength that I have right here, it still has a very strong click, but luckily the Bell V2 has resolved that by making all the settings much weaker than the Bell V1, which is a much nicer feeling to the turning. Anyway, if you take this little screwdriver that came with the puzzle, which is actually pretty cool, it has some interchangeable bits. You can open up the back here, which attaches magnetically, and as you can see, we have a little metal Phillips head screwdriver, a plastic Phillips head screwdriver, as well as a flat head and whatever this thing is. So if you take the screwdriver with the plastic Phillips head bit, which I imagine makes it easier than a metal one because you are of course working with magnets. If we then take a look at the puzzle turned halfway, we can see the magnet next to this little Phillips head screw with one of the arms sticking out a little bit further than the other ones. And as you can see right now, it's pointed towards the circle, which is the middle moderate strength option. So basically what we can do is take this little screwdriver, we can turn it this way towards the negative sign, which is the weaker magnet setting, or we can turn it the other way towards the plus sign, which of course is the stronger magnet setting. So basically what this is doing is it's actually moving the magnet up and down like in this direction, making it either closer to the other piece for a stronger feeling or further away from it for a weaker feeling. So if we take a look at it at this angle and turn the screwdriver, you can actually see it getting slightly further away and then even further away for the weaker feeling. And of course you can also use a normal Phillips head screwdriver because who's gonna remember where they left the little plastic one? Anyway, what I'm doing right now is I'm changing it to the lighter setting. I have a feeling most people will like either the moderate or the strong setting, but first I just wanna check out what the lighter one is like. So after you click those 12 magnets into place, which is super easy, it takes no more than like 30 seconds, your Pyraminx is now on a different magnetic setting. So let's try out the weaker magnets, and yeah, it feels like there's hardly magnets in there at all. So yeah, it definitely does make a big difference from the normal one, and I imagine most people won't like this setting. I don't know, maybe someone will. Anyway, let's change it to the stronger setting now. There we go, we're on the strongest setting now. Let's see how it feels. And yeah, that's definitely a little bit more like the original X-Man Bell. Definitely not quite as strong as that still, which is a good thing because that was ridiculously strong. And yeah, I have a feeling some people might like this better. I think I might leave mine on moderate though. Now one more thing that I haven't mentioned yet, of course, is the tips. Now right now they feel a little bit slow, like they need to be worked in and lubed a little bit. You can hear a little bit of spring noise for sure on them, but the magnet strength on them is actually really good. It's not so strong that it's annoying and kind of hard to turn like it was out of the box on the original Bell, but it's just strong enough so that you can just flick it and it'll go right into place. You won't get a weird halfway turn. It'll always go just right into its spot after you flick it. Now even though I feel like the magnet strength is pretty good right out of the box, there is also a way to adjust it. First, you just have to open up a tip by kind of getting something sharp in between the stickerless parts and just taking the pieces apart like this. And as you can see, we have 3 magnets which attract to the magnets underneath. And basically what you do at this point is grab the extra magnets that came with the puzzle like this, and you can just add 1 or 2 or 3 extra magnets on top of there. So if you want your tips to be super mega strong, you just add 3 magnets on there. Assemble the tip back together like this, and then you'll be able to get ridiculously strong magnet strengths. Obviously, I don't actually expect anybody to use 3 extra magnets in there because this is just going to be crazy strong. That's kind of like the original X-Man Bell, super strength. But yeah, maybe you think the original is a little bit light, so you want to add 1 or 2. But I think I'm going to be sticking with no additional magnets in my Pyraminx main. And yeah, speaking of Pyraminx main, I think this is the easiest conclusion to one of these unboxing videos that I've done in a very long time. This is the best Pyraminx on the market, period, and you should buy it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, well obviously if you already have a Pyraminx that you're happy with and you're not looking to get a new one, then no, you shouldn't waste your money on something that you don't want. But if you are really into Pyraminx speed solving, or if you just want to get a good Pyraminx to start solving with, then definitely go for the X-Man Bell V2. It is $17, which is not much more than these two, and it comes with a lot more features, a lot better performance. It is the best one on the market. In fact, the first good Pyraminx on the market for nearly 4 years now. So yeah, definitely check out the link down in the description to where you can buy this puzzle at thecubicle.com. It may still be on pre-order, but you can still buy it right now, or you can wait until it's released. But use discount code Z3Cubing to get 5% off this and any other items in your order. Now, one last thing, I guess we should do a quick solve, which I'm kind of scared about because the last time I solved a Pyraminx was probably at my last cubing competition, which given the current state of the world was a long time ago now. So let's do some quick inspection on here. Luckily I gave myself a very easy scramble, but I'll probably still figure out how to mess it up. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be super fast. 3, 2, 1, go. I think I managed some double turns in there, and I think I turned the tips like 6 times. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If you're buying a Pyraminx, this is the Pyraminx to buy. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something, and I'll see you guys next time.